Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a fabulous day or had a fabulous day if you are on the other side of any of the ponds around us. We just want to welcome you to Ask Doc Live. So we will be getting started here momentarily. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up early. Now, for those of you who would like to ask questions in today's show live and get the information and advice straight from our Dr. Wallach, raise your hand. I am going to be going through the hands as they are raised. If you don't know how to raise your hand, look at your Zoom menu. You'll see something that says reaction. If you click on reactions, you will see the option to raise hand. And it looks like somebody's already found that. Fabulous, Julian. Good job. So you are tuning in to Ask Doc Live. My name is Rebecca Kozak. I am going to be your host for the next 2 hours, and I am joined with my co-hosts, our amazing webmaster, John T. McCollier, and Nasima Omar, and Ruth Ellen Sanchez. We are all here to make sure that you are getting the information that you need to build a healthier community all around you. We are excited to be able to offer this resource to you at no cost. And I do have to say that the information that and the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition and supplementation in a world where our food is void and empty of all the vitamins and minerals that our body actually needs, not just to survive, but to thrive. And in this program, we will be sharing those nutritional options that are available through supplementation in a form that the body can actually absorb, that's readily available to be assimilated by the body and go to work so that your body can do what it was designed to do. Now, this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, but when you give the body what it needs, it can do some amazing things. Our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any disease. We are honored, greatly honored, to be able to have one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here with us, who has had an incredible story, an incredible journey of his own, overcoming things that nobody ever thought could be overcame. And he has taken his research and his information and is spreading it around the world. He's not keeping it to himself, and he's doing this at no cost. Dr. Wallach, I am just honored and privileged to be able to call you my doc, to be able to be here with you these 2 hours and share the message of hope and being one of your warriors in an amazing world. So Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for being here with us. We love you, we appreciate you, and I know you have some wonderful gems of information to share with us today.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you and your entire team. I consider all you guys my family. Love you all. And we have a lot of work to do because we're in trouble. The human family is in trouble in all countries because it's been missed very badly what needs to be done. The spiking, we're getting a third wave of COVID here. All 50 states, of course, have the COVID-19, the Delta variant, and we have a new variant called Lambda C37, which comes from Peru, and it's in 31 countries, including us. We just diagnosed our first cases in Houston, Texas, yesterday. It's like 5 times more infectious and 5 times more deadly than the Delta variant, and it's already hit Texas. And so we got to watch out for that one. The reason why we're in trouble with this pandemic is the same reason why the Egyptians had 8 years of plagues in a row. Thousands of years ago, they had 8 years of plagues, 8 years. Okay, well, that's because for over 100 years, they had been eating barley and wheat. The Hebrew slaves for 400 years have been growing barley and wheat for the Egyptian slaves, or excuse me, the Egyptian military and the Egyptian royalty, and killed all their intestines. Gluten alert. So gluten was still bad back then. So it killed all their intestines. And suddenly they began to die like flies. Of course, they knew it was an evil spirit. And then, of course, Moses came along and says, no, it's not an evil spirit. It's God doing that to you because you didn't leave these Hebrew slaves go. And over 8 years, they refused to release the Hebrew slaves. And for 8 years, they kept getting this pandemic getting worse and worse and worse. The 8th year, the Pharaoh's oldest son died of the pandemic. And he said, better let these slaves go here. Can't lose any more family members here. And so they let the Hebrew slaves go after 400 years of slavery. Well, the next year, there wasn't one death in Egypt from the plague. There had not, during those 8 years, been any deaths in the Hebrews because under penalty of death, the Hebrews could not eat the barley or the wheat. That was only supposed to be for the Egyptians. So they were kept away from eating barley and wheat during those 8 years. So that's why they didn't get the plague. God has a very wonderful formula, right? And it's one of those things where after on the 9th year, all of the Egyptians had to have their own little gardens, and they're putting their wood ashes in the gardens like the Hebrew slaves had done for 400 years, and they're getting their minerals. And so their own immune systems are working for them. And so it was a totally different picture in the 9th year. Well, the same thing is true now. Let's see here. Let's just start with yesterday and go backwards. Yesterday, we spiked. We had 63,000 new cases of COVID, yesterday in America alone, in USA. 63,000 cases. The day before, we had 54,000. Well, as I take that back, we had 58,000 the day before. The day before that, we had 54,000, so it's creeping up. And right now, with 332 million people, we have 35 million, 35,260 something thousand 672 infections, 626,151 dead. Now you look at the India, where the Delta variant came from. They have 1.7 billion people. They have 5 times the people we have, and they only have, let's see here, 481,000 dead, and they have, let's see here, they have 31,291,764. They have 419,502 dead, and they had 34,865 new infections yesterday. Now let's look at California. California, with just short of 40 million people, they have 3.9 million infections, almost 4 million. They have 64,000 dead. And the day before yesterday, they had, let's see here, 5,785 infections. And yesterday they had 6,521. When you look at Texas, let's see here, the day before yesterday, they had, let's see here, oh my gosh, they had 4,372, let's see here, new infections. And then yesterday, they had 6,000 new infections. In Florida, the day before, they had, let's see here, Florida, they had 8,000. The day before that, they had almost 9,000. Yesterday, they had 12,647 new infections. what's going on here? Well, if you look at the diets of these countries and states and so forth, they are eating gluten like the Egyptians did. Wheat, brown, rye oats, wheat, brown, rye oats, wheat, brown, rye oats. Latinos, Blacks, indigenous peoples, we're talking about Native Americans and so forth. And when you look at the numbers, and the reason why these states have such high numbers, when you look at the numbers of these various populations, let's look at California. Has 39% of the population is Latino and 8% Black. Texas has 39% Latinos and 14% Black. Florida has 25% Latinos and 18% Black. And it goes on and on and on. All these top 11 countries that have over 1 million cases have very high Latino and Black populations. Almost 50% of the population of the state are combined Latinos and Blacks, and they eat nothing but wheat, brown, rye oats. And that's why the numbers are so high. It's not a racial thing. It is a dietary thing. And so when you look at the Asians, they always do better than the Europeans. Let's look at the UK, England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. They have a total population amongst themselves of 67 million, compared with Thailand with 67 million people. Yesterday, their numbers went up over 50,000 in new cases. And they have a population, I said 67 million. And let's see here, they have 5,563,006 infections. They had yesterday 128,898 dead, whereas Thailand, with the same population, 67 million, only have 3,000 dead versus 129,000 dead. 3,000 dead versus 129,000 dead. They only have 415,000 infections versus 5.6 million. So what's the difference? Same population. Well, of course, Thailand is a classic Asian country. They live on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and seaweed. No wheat, brown, rye, and oats. I guarantee you, those people who are dying in Thailand, those 3,000 that are dying there, they're probably working in U.S. Navy bases and in hotels and eating all the food for tourists and stuff like that. Whereas the ones who are living in the Asian communities and living like Asians don't. Okay, it's very simple. And then another comparison here, let's look at the Philippines versus Vietnam. Vietnam has 97 million people and the Philippines have 100 million. Vietnam has 334 dead as of yesterday. The Philippines have dead, let's see here, the Philippines dead is 26,844 in the Philippines. They have 1.5 million infections. And then when you look at Vietnam, they have 334 dead versus 26,000 dead. They have 60,000 infections versus 1.5 million infections. What's the difference? Well, again, in the Philippines, right in the middle of the Pacific, they have all these Navy bases from the United States and Germany and the UK and Spain and so forth. And this is why they have all the gluten eaters there, whereas Vietnam has stayed Asian and they're not getting the gluten. And they're getting their supplements from eating things like seaweed and algae and that kind of stuff. Whereas the Filipinos, they want to live like Europeans and be more modern and not eat that sort of stuff that those peasants eat. So they're eating bread and pancakes and spaghetti and things like that. So they're getting the gluten. So that's why there's huge difference in the number of dead infections between those two countries, with very similar population. So I could go on and on and on, but I think you get the deal. Well, let's do one more. I think, yeah, we got time for one more here. Let's compare our state of Louisiana with the country of New Zealand. They both have 5 million people, almost like 70 people difference between their population between New Zealand and Louisiana. And Louisiana has 10,894 dead. New Zealand has 26 dead. 26 dead versus 10,894. Louisiana has infections, they have, let's see here. Trying to sure get this right. They have 505,869 infections, and New Zealand has 3,000 infections versus 505,000 infections, same population. And so it's a diet. New Zealand, 40% of their population are Maoris, indigenous peoples, but they live on corn and rice and beans and squash. Whereas in Louisiana, 40-50% of their population are Latinos, Blacks, and indigenous peoples, and they live on nothing but wheat, brown, rye, and oats. And so it's a dietary thing causing the death of the lining of the intestine, the villi go away. You lose 98% of your absorbent surface. And these people tend not to supplement. We're eating well. That's their answer. We eat well. They think calories and the numbers of mouthfuls of spaghetti means you're eating well. They don't understand that the foods we eat now only have maybe 3 nutrients, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. You need 90. And so farmers know this because they get paid by tons and bushels per acre. Farmers don't get paid by how many nutrients are in the food. So they give their animals the hay and corn and wheat and everything that's grown. They're going to be killing them in 3 months, so they don't care about their intestines. So they just give them the NPK fertilized foods, but they also give them alfalfa pellets with 90 essential nutrients in it, so they don't die of a heart attack and all that kind of stuff and get arthritis and stop eating and so forth. So they take care of them by giving them the supplements for those 3 months. And then they give us the food without the nutrients in it because they get paid by tons and bushels, not by the nutritional value of the food. So I could go on and on and on. I have hundreds of comparisons, similar populations, Asian, European, and so forth. So you get the idea, I think.
I definitely get the idea, Dr. Wallach. And a report that I heard 3 days ago coming out of the UK. Over 60% of the people that are being admitted into the hospital with COVID have been fully vaccinated. So we can't rely on a vaccine to protect us. We have to look at nutrition and making sure our bodies have the armor.
Yeah, well, see, you said something very important there, because doctors want you to think that vaccines kill the virus and bacteria and fungus and these things that you're being vaccinated against. No, they just alert your body to the bad DNA and RNA in the bug, whether it's virus, bacteria, fungus, or yeast. And so when the bug shows up, your body says, we got to defend ourselves. So they'll send out the white blood cells and the T lymphocytes, which are specialty white blood cells for the immune system, red blood cells, platelets, antibodies, and stem cells to make antibodies to go and kill and eat the viruses. But if your intestines are dead because you've been eating gluten all your life, your villi are gone, you can't absorb any nutrition. Instead of looking like a shag rug in your intestine, it looks like a plastic tube, no absorptive surface, and you're not taking any supplements. Even if you could absorb them, if you're eating gluten and you're not supplementing, or you are supplementing, it doesn't matter because you can't get the nutrition to your bone marrow. And so your bone marrow is dead. And that's why these people, 60%, and you said that was the UK?
Yeah, that was out of UK.
Yeah, 60% were vaccinated. Well, you have to appreciate that the UK is the biggest gluten-eating country in the world. They took wheat around the world. Wheat was a European thing, and they took it around the world because they had sailors going everywhere, and they wanted their sailors to have bread and spaghetti and that kind of stuff, and chicken noodle soup and all that kind of thing. And so they planted wheat wherever they went, so they would always have access to British foods. Okay, that was, we're going to be important, we'll get to eat right, okay, kind of thing. And so that's why the world is a mess. And that's why vaccinations do not protect you against the bug. Okay, they just alert your body to deal with it. And if you're not supplementing and you're not absorbing, even if you're vaccinated and have your second vaccination and your booster, you're still going to die from the bug because your body cannot respond to the vaccination.
So, Dr. Wallach, there's something that I'm like super excited about, because I get so many people, they look at the good foods, bad foods list, and they want to know, well, how can I eat? and something that has just been released, and we have it on AskDocLive.com under Dr. Wallach's books and publications, is the book Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods.
You get an A plus.
So excited to be able to have that available and be able to promote that. I mean, these are recipes from around the world.
Yes, and
Going by
300
your
pages, 300 pages of these recipes. And there were 3 chefs in Eastern Canada that were really trying to show that I was wrong. And so they cooked everything up in the restaurants they worked in for 3 years. And they had surveys that they gave the customers, and they got the surveys back. And the people liked my recipes better than theirs. And so they helped me put it together as a book. And so we're really, really proud of those 3 chefs. And the chief chef, of course, his name is Chef Norman. And so we kind of credit him with kind of organizing that and making that thing go through. And so I'm really, really very proud of this book because it's something I've been talking about for 50 years. And it goes in one ear and out the other for most people. Well, my grandmom, she ate this way and she's 114. Well, yeah, that's because she was using wood ashes from her wood stove in her fireplace and getting those minerals as a supplement. Or are you still putting wood ashes? No, we got electricity. Well, there you go. You don't have wood ashes anymore, and that's why you're suffering. And so grandma had more than just wheat for breakfast. She had wood ashes in her porridge, and she had wood ashes in her soup, and she had wood ashes in everything she made, in her sauces and so on. And they put them in their garden, and everybody had a garden back in those days when grandma was around. And they were putting the wood ashes in the garden, so all the carrots and the onions and the beans and the cucumbers and the squash and celery would suck up all these minerals from the wood ashes, and you'd eat those foods, you get your minerals that way. And they've been doing that for thousands of years.
It's amazing how we get away from the simple things that are so beneficial. It's, for the sake of what? Advancement.
Well, it's all marketing. It's all marketing. And of course, it'd be like your mechanic saying, don't waste your money on oil in your car. You're just wasting your money by putting oil in your car. Just put some, why spend $3 a quart for oil when you can, for 10 cents a quart, you can get dirt from Texas and Oklahoma, and put 6 quarts of dirt from Texas and Oklahoma in your car. There's bound to be some oil in it because it's dirt from Texas and Oklahoma. Well, an insane person would not do that to their car. But when a doctor says, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need, people beat their chest like Tarzan. Oh, my doctor says I can get everything I need. My doctor says I can get everything I need from just eating well. Why should I listen to you? And then bam, you're dead.
Bam. Yes. So Monica just asked, should we put wood ashes in food now?
If you have wood ashes, put them in your food. These are part of these recipes. Okay. They're in the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. They're in the book, Hell's Kitchen. And it's one of these things where the book in the CD, Hell's Kitchen, goes into the history of this pandemic. It goes back over 100 years past beyond 1882, when Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant. In 1880, we had the first one. And in let's see here, in Michigan, Michigan, it was for the Wolverine furniture manufacturing plant. Okay. And that was the first hydroelectric plant making electricity in America for that one little manufacturing plant. Then, and 2 years later, Thomas Edison and Jonathan Leaves pulled the switch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, on Pearl Street in New York City, in the bluff overlooking the construction of Brooklyn Bridge. And their invention has killed billions of people. Because when they switched to electricity, there was no more wood ashes. Within 10, 12 years, they had 40 new diseases nobody ever seen before. And that was the beginning of the darling of the medical system, genetics. And so they blamed all these 40, 50 new diseases on bad genes. They didn't realize they were just simple nutritional deficiency diseases showing up because people were not putting wood ashes, which they didn't have anymore. Okay.
Right. So, whenever you're looking at putting wood ash in your food, folks, you really want to make sure that you consider the source, because I know there's so many different things that are being sprayed in our forests. A lot of people use some type of accelerator to get their fire started. You don't want to have any of those residuals. So I myself, even though we use a wood fire, I am so thankful that I have our plant-derived minerals, Dr. Wallach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about those contaminants. And it comes in a liquid format. I can just put a splash in my water and drink it throughout the day. It comes in capsules that I can just pop two in my mouth and be done. It just, you've made it so easy.
And we have it for kids. It's called Kids Toddy. Okay, Kids Toddy. It has the liquid minerals in it, and liquid vitamins, amino acids, and stuff like that. It's one of the greatest products out there for kids. And so every kid who's going to be put on Infamil and Similac when they're born, the mother's not going to breastfeed them. You need to add this for the body weight. Kids Toddy, Cal Toddy, EFAs. And then when they get a little bit older and they're, wanting to drink colas and things like that, you get them on the Rebound or sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. And you can give them the kids sprinkles. I like the kids sprinkles. It's these little things that taste like watermelon, had little pellets with vitamins and minerals in them. I sprinkle them on my gluten-free ice cream. Let's see, the green tea, vanilla, in particular, I like it on them because it jazzes them up and so on. And so we have all these things for kids because this is where we need to start. We can't take somebody who's 80 years old and they have 14 different pre-existing conditions that doctors said are genetic, not really, but the doctors said they were genetic. And they're on 35 different prescription drugs because they got 8 specialists they're going to, and say, okay, I want to live beyond 100. What do? I'm only 80. I have all these problems. Well, you should have started when you were a sperm and an egg, okay? All through the pregnancy you were developed in, from the moment you were born. And if your mama was going to breastfeed you, she needs to up her intake of the 90. And if she's going to put you on Infamil and Similac, then she's got to get you on, again, the Kids Toddy, the Cal Toddy, and the EFAs.
Dr. Wallach, I have a confession. I keep kid sprinkles in my purse for my grandkids.
Uh-huh.
But when I want something sweet, I just rip one open and take it myself.
Yeah, there's 30 little packets in these boxes, 30 little packets. So you have 30 doses. And it's one of those things where I think the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts should be involved in saving America again. They helped save America after the Second World War when all our young people were still over in Europe and Asia and the Pacific trying to put things back together for the world. And so the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts stepped up to the plate and were really taking care of the older adults and so forth and filling in jobs. And so we will pay them, okay, based on the amount of sales they have. And they will be able to get car bonuses. They're only 6, 8, 10, 12 years old. They'll get car bonuses. They can put it in an account. They can get, again, their monthly check from us. They put it in their account. So by the time they graduate high school and they're 18, they got a couple $100,000 in their account to pay for their college and everything. They don't have to worry about paying for their college. And they should be selling, instead of Girl Scout cookies and Boy Scout cookies with all the gluten in it, they should be selling kids sprinkles.
Sprinkles, yes. And there was a question, well, how about for the rest of us? And I'm going to do cheers. We've got the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, OsteoFX, Rebound, like Dr. Wallach has. I put a splash of plant-derived minerals in my drink, so I get that extra minerals. And guess what, Dr. Wallach? I am no longer 95 pounds down. 100. I hit that 100 mark.
Congratulations.
Super excited. And it wasn't hard. It was just giving my body what it needed. So my body.
Did you have surgery? Did they take out your stomach?
No, goodness, no. No. Since meeting you, there is not a single moment that I would consider any type of operation. Just I've done that, been there, never going back.
Well, we're very proud of you, and congratulations on hitting that 100 mark. I know that's kind of a place to go. And also, you're going to see this in longevity. This is something I have just another minute or so left in my first half hour here, and remind everybody that we have dropped from 79 years of average age in the United States, even though our human life expectancy is 155. We were running at about 79. We dropped down to 75 about a month ago. That's from the CDC, Center for Disease Control, because of all these deaths and because of the COVID. We dropped down to 75. So you subtract 75 from 155. Right now we're leaving 80 years on the table. We're dying 80 years before we're supposed to die. What if you would drive your car and you only got 25,000 miles out of it instead of 300,000 miles? You wouldn't like that very much. Well, that's what's happening to people. They're leaving 80 years on the table, 80 years they don't have with the people they love, their family, playing golf, fishing, whatever it is they want to do. They're giving up 80 years of all that simply because the doctor said, oh, just eat well, don't waste your money on vitamins, minerals, and make sure you eat plenty of whole grains. Well, any doctor who says that should be put in jail for life as a serial killer, spelled C-E-R, not S-E-R. Okay. And so, yeah, whoever got people going on wheat and barley, rye and oats should be put in jail for life as a serial killer because of the gluten issue. And let's look at a couple more. Let's look at, let's see here, Vietnam. Their average lifespan is 76. Subtract that from 155. They're leaving 79 years on the table. You look at the Black Americans, their average lifespan is 72. They're leaving 83 years on the table. The Latinos in America, they do a little bit better. They live to be 81.8 and they're leaving 73.2 years on the table. The longest lived people, consistently documented, true, absolutely agreed upon by all the experts in the world, are the Hunzas from the Giltar region between the China and Pakistan. Their average lifespan is 120. Their longest lived people, that's 120 is their average. Their longest lived people documented is 168, 170. The longest one, Dr. Chi Yun, he lived to be 265, was documented by a great investigative reporter by the name of James Hilton from the New York Times and the London Times. And he wrote the book in 1929, Lost Horizon, which became a movie in 1933, Lost Horizon, and introduced the place where people live the longest in the world called Shangri-La. Everybody thought that was a mythical place. It's actually a valley in Hunza where this Giltar Glacier dumps all this water with all these minerals in it from grinding up the canyon walls. And so these are the longest lived people because they're getting those minerals. And it's, it's incontestable. It's well documented, and it's documented in the book and the movie Lost Horizon. And of course, this is what got me excited when I was a kid, and I had different diseases that nobody had ever seen before. And I had, my mom and dad took me to 20 different doctors over a 5-year period, and they wanted to institutionalize me because I was very violent and hurting people. And they said, well, I said, well, how long am I going to be in the hospital? I said, well, maybe for the rest of your life, because they don't know what they didn't even have a name for what you got. So that night, I kind of looked at what's going on in our household and our community. And I said, wait a minute, there's something going on here. We're all kind of eating the same thing, except we're giving the animals something different. We're eating the same food out of the same garden that they are, the ones that we're going to kill and eat. But we're also giving them vitamins and minerals. So the next morning, I threw the Cheerios out to the chickens, and I took their alfalfa pellets, all the vitamins and minerals in it, put in my breakfast bowl, put milk on it, and ate that for cereal. By the third day, I cured myself. 20 doctors couldn't figure it out over 5 years, and 20 doctors. And, back then, tens of thousands of dollars for dirt farmers. That was a lot of money for us. And they couldn't figure it out. And I figured it out in just 3 days. And so that's what got me going in the direction we're going in here. And so all this, of course, is in the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. That's the only time they won't lie is when they're dead.
This is true. This is true. I'm so thankful that you were given that, that discernment in knowing that there was something else, and that you didn't just stop there, you continued. And now
I'm going to give God all the credit.
Absolutely. And, even though we're surrounded with people that may have different conditions, I'm so thankful that through nutrition, we can still allow them to be the best that they can be.
Absolutely. See, it's in everybody's control. If you do the basic stuff, like you check your oil every time you go in and fill up your car, you check your antifreeze in the fall when winter's coming. You check the air in your tires. Because you want maximum utilization of your tires and your engine and your car and so forth. You don't just put wax on your car. You just don't wax your car and run it through the car wash every week. You do all these other things. And when you just put makeup on and go to the barber and, you know, cut your hair and your hair is going white, you put hair coloring in it. You have pain, you take some aspirin and put some cream on for the pain. You're not doing the right thing for yourself. You're not even coming close, because what you're doing is just waxing the car and not taking care of all the moving parts and things that need checking. And so I urge you to treat yourself at least as well as you're treating your car. How's that?
I love it. I love it. And Dr. Wallach, thank you so much. So much information shared just there in our first half hour of the Ask Doc Live show. We welcome you, whether you're here with us live or watching one of the replays. The person that directed you and steered you toward this video really does care about you. And I encourage you, as you're going through and listening to our program and you're hearing the recommendations that Dr. Wallach is given, and especially if it has something that is similar to what you're experiencing, get back with that person that shared this program with you. They have a way to help you get the products that you need in order for you to gain or maintain optimal health. Now, for those of you who have never spoken to anybody, were not referred to this program by anybody specific, we do have a store at AskDocLive.com where you can get all of the products that Dr. Wallach will be mentioning in today's program, and also his books. I'm so excited that we are able to offer those there as well, and recordings of all of our programs that we have been doing since last July. It just blows me away, John T., that we've been doing this for a whole year now. And I'm so excited to just see the numbers and the people that are watching the replays and how we are doing our part in spreading that message that there is another way and you can be empowered. Now, Dr. Wallach, we have some hands up. Let's go ahead and go to the first question, who is Julian. Julian, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's see, my weight is 177.
Okay.
I'm 5'7" in height, and I'm 69 years old. And my issues are that I have excessive upper intestinal gas and lower intestinal gas, and this has been for 2.5 years. I did go to my doctor, and they recommended a drug called Exifaxan, 550 milligram. I took my first regimen last December, and I took my second regimen. I just finished it 2 weeks ago, and they said I had excessive bacteria in my stomach from probably eating too much sugar, which is my downfall.
Okay.
And I don't, I'm on a gluten-free diet. I ate gluten maybe 5% of my total food intake. And I do supplement with over-the-counter supplements, turmeric with curcumin.
Okay, those are herbs. They're not nutrition, they're herbs.
Oh, and magnesium. And
that's one of the 90.
Omega-3 fish oil.
So you got 2 out of the 90.
And zinc and copper.
That's 4 out of the 90.
Vitamin D3 with calcium.
5 and 6 out of the 90.
And the multivitamin from CBS.
Okay, well, that's why you're screwed up. Okay, now stop talking. Okay, you have gray hair, which tells me you're really seriously nutritionally deficient. That's not aging, that's due to a deficiency. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs?
No, I don't, but my mother had a lot of them.
Well, that's not genetic. It's not genetic. Don't worry about that. It's a nutritional deficiency. Do you have any hemorrhoids?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And they've kind of subsided.
Okay, good. But hemorrhoids and varicose veins and white, gray, and silver hair are all caused by the same deficiency. It's a red warning light, just like a red warning light in the dashboard of your car. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. But nobody does. They just dye their hair or put a wig on or something like that, or get surgery when really they're not paying attention to what they're supposed to pay attention to. And so, and so how much salt do you use?
My doctor told me that eat all the salt I want because my blood pressure is usually 103 over 60. And she's
Okay.
the doc. Yeah.
And so you do salt your food?
Oh, yes, excessively. I like it too.
Okay. Well, the reason why people crave salt is because of a behavior called pica, P-I-C-A, which is another red warning light telling you you're missing certain nutrients and you're craving something. And the people who eat salt are smarter than the people who eat sugar. Okay. Salt is very good because, to kind of fulfill that craving, that pica, P-I-C-A, but also, but you're obviously not getting enough of everything because you still have all this gas. So here's what I want you to do at 177 pounds. You got to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils of any kind, no gluten, no wheat, no butter, rye, and oats. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. All the gluten in oats is called gliadin, but it's still gluten. You cannot have any gluten-free oats. Okay. And then absolutely no sugar, no carbonated drinks of any kind. Even the diet ones got to go. And then at 177 pounds, I want you to take the 215. Okay. It's called the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. I want you to take 2 of those Healthy Brain and Heart Packs for a month, the full dose everything at breakfast, full dose everything at dinner time. I also want you to get our MSM, 2 bottles of MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself. Then I want you to have our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Take our collagen, take our glucogel, take 5 of those capsules twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's also going to help rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue. And then I want you to take our ultimate enzymes, take 2 of those, say before each meal, 5 to 10 minutes for each meal with a couple ounces of water. Our ultimate enzyme, we call it the gallbladder in a bottle. And then lastly, I want you to use from our savor division, our spice division, I want you to use our pink Himalayan salt. It has 84 minerals in it. It's not just sodium chloride, the white table salt, or even white table salt with some iodine in it. Ours has 84 minerals in it, and it's pink. Okay, and it's pink Himalayan salt. And so I want you to use a half a teaspoon 3 times a day, half a teaspoon with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can even use more if you crave it. Within a couple of days, weeks, all this gas you're having coming up, burping and belching and bloating and having a bowel gas coming out the other end will all go away, because these are caused by the pH in your stomach being either neutral or too high alkaline. You do not want to be alkaline. You do not want to be neutral. Your stomach area has to be acid. That helps your digestive system break down proteins into amino acids. It helps you absorb iron and B12, and helps you keep the environment acid so that bacteria cannot ferment food. The reason why the bacteria are fermenting food, they're living in an ideal situation down there in your stomach, which is either neutral or alkaline. You got to eat that pink Himalayan salt and get that pH down to where it belongs. Okay, then call us every couple of weeks. You're gonna have a great story. Your problem is very common. I have thousands of people every day from all over the world who call me with the same problems you have. And within weeks, the longest it takes is 60 to 90 days. If you have a 6-month supply of gluten in your house because you're being prepared in case there's something going on where you can't get food, don't finish it and say, I'll finish everything in the cupboard and then I'll stop eating it. No, what I want you to do is box up any gluten you have in the house and the white table salt. And I want you to box it up and give it to your doctor. Box up the gluten and the white table salt and give it to your doctor and deduct it from your taxes. Okay. Okay, we got to run here, but give us a call every couple of weeks if you would, please. And it's Julian is your name?
Yes, correct.
Okay, just like the town in California.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Okay, good to talk to you, sir. Okay. All right, let's see here. Rebecca, we got time to start another one here.
Yeah, so Dr. Wallach, you had mentioned some of the vitamins, and we have a question coming in from Doria. She wants to know, what is methylation support that includes riboflavin, B6, folate, B12, betaine, and andros? What is that good for to have it methylated?
Okay, well, we have a methylated folate, okay, which helps you absorb more of it in our de-stress capsules. You want our de-stress capsules, go ahead and take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And so we also have methylated folate in our Rebound, our sports drink. And it helps you absorb things. And you know, you're picking out 4 or 5, this person's picking out 4 or 5 different nutrients. They need all 215 with this pandemic going on here. And don't forget the Himalayan salt. Our minerals, people say, where do you get your minerals? Well, we get them from algae that was underneath reefs that died thousands, maybe millions of years ago. And all the plants were trapped underneath those dead reefs. And that's where we get our minerals. These are plant-based, plant-derived minerals. They come from the seaweed from millions of years ago. They come from the ocean. And that's why they're very, very special. We have a lock on them. You can't just go to the hardware store and buy these types of plant minerals because nobody else has access to them. We have the liquid form. We have capsules. We have them in our pills and tablets and multiples. Again, they're in our kids' toddy and our Cal toddy. We have cherry mints. We have strawberry kiwi minerals. We have herbal rainforest, which has 13 cleansing herbs in it, plus the 75 minerals in it. This is our calling card. This is the thing that makes longevity different, is the fact that we have all these nutrients and we have these plant-derived minerals that nobody else has access to. If you do everything right, you can actually add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. We're leaving 80 years on the table right now here in America. In America, we're leaving 80. That says something about our medical system. Our medical system is so bound up in treating symptoms. That's what they do. They manage symptoms and people are happy. Oh, my pain is gone. I'm good. And so you don't mind leaving 80 years on the table. You would be really mad at your car dealership if they told you this car could go 300,000 miles and it died at 10,000 miles. Okay, the same thing is true for yourself. You can go 155 years if you do everything right. So isn't it worth $10 a day to do everything right? Now, you're going to save a lot of money by getting rid of the bad foods, but $10 a day is kind of like the same as 2 large Starbucks coffees a day. And so it's not like it's an outrageous cost to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. Now, you have to be really aggressive if you want to add that 80 years back in. I mean, you got to really, really, really be aggressive and staying away from the bad stuff and doing the good stuff. So I urge you, again, you can go to, and you're going to give out the website where people can get a hold of my books and CDs and DVDs. We have over, let's see here, 15 books now. We've got 3 more in the pipeline coming out. We have over 100 CDs. We have over 50 DVDs. And particularly right now, I like the Hell's Kitchen, the book and the CD. It goes into the history of all the pandemics and why it happened and how you can reverse everything. I like the book Immortality and the CD that goes along with it, Beyond Immortality. It was a series of articles and interviews where we looked at people who lived, there you go, Hell's Kitchen, okay. And then the book Immortality, where,
Upstairs.
yeah, that's okay, okay. But Hell's Kitchen is a good one. Everybody needs to read that and listen to the CD. But Immortality goes into everything that the people who live a long time do. They consciously avoid the bad stuff. So we show you what it is they're consciously avoiding to add 50 to 80 years to their life. And we also have the CD that goes along with Beyond Immortality. And it also goes into the good things they're doing, what it is good they're doing to add 25 to 50 healthy years to their life. And so you're coming at this from all these different directions. The material is there. We put it into book form and CD form for you. Epigenetics, everybody who really wants to know why our science, why our medical system has failed us. It's because they believed in genetics. And the subtitle, of course, is beautiful. Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. Because when a doctor didn't know what the answer was, he said, well, you got bad genes. Everybody bought it. Oh, okay. My doctor says I got bad genes. That was all nonsense. That was all BS. You know what I'm talking about here, BS. And so, but doctors got away with it for a couple of 100 years. Well, now is the time to say, okay, doc, the truth is available now. So you can't claim that genetics thing anymore in these diseases, you know, like lupus. Oh, it's an autoimmune disease. Your body's attacking itself. No, it's a gluten issue and very specific nutritional deficiencies that occur with gluten issues in your intestines. And you get this facial rash, you know, called rosacea on your face, and you have kind of a arthritis and all this stuff going on, and you have your irritable bowel syndrome. It's all just gluten and nutritional deficiencies. It is not autoimmune disease. I take people with lupus, and in 30, 40, 60 days, they've had lupus for 40 years, is gone, because it's a simple gluten issue followed by a subsequent nutritional deficiency, because when you have gluten, you can't absorb nutrients, even if you're supplement. So you get a hold of these books, you'll save yourself an enormous amount of unnecessary misery. You'll save yourself an enormous amount of unnecessary expense. And the most beautiful part, you're going to add a minimum of 25 to 50 healthful years to your life. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
So Dr. Wallach, you know, I've done a lot of investing, but I'm going to tell you honestly, the one thing that I've invested in the most that's given back to me is my health. If I wouldn't have invested in my health, I wouldn't be able to enjoy the things that I have. And that's something that we really need to think about. I mean, we could work and work and work to try to get ahead. But if our health is declined and compromised, how are we going to enjoy what we worked so hard to get?
Well, you get an A+, dear, because you're hitting the nail on the head. And I just freak out every time I see that newest thing. The CD said we're leaving 80 years on the table, just simply because people are eating badly and not supplementing. It's that simple. They're eating badly and not supplementing. Now, you know, you can't just take some of these things on TV are funny. We have complete nutrition, 27 nutrients. That's not even a third of the 90, let alone 215. And so, and
No.
complete nutrition, they sell it. And people buy into that because they don't know. Well, this is where you need to get the books and the CDs and DVDs. And it's one of those things where I guess I've been benefited a lot by the people I've associated with, including people like yourself and your team, who are really, really inspired to help others. And so I'm very proud of you guys for doing this, because you're helping others with your stories and also making the information available. And so, and I think right now, again, with these numbers going up crazy like they are, we need to see a huge, huge, huge increase in the number of people doing the 215 nutrients. The 90 is still the core. The Healthy Start Pack is still the core, but now we have 215. We added 115 more nutrients to it about, I think it had to be 7 or 8 years ago. Okay. And came up with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack with that. And that was for Evander Holyfield, who had had his heart attack and lost his heavyweight championship to Michael Moore. A year and a half on our Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, he came back and he beat Iron Mike Tyson in a heavyweight title bout. Now, who comes back from a near fatal heart attack in a year and a half and wins a heavyweight championship against Iron Mike Tyson? Only people who are taking the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack.
That's right. That's right. Most definitely. Well, we have about 7 minutes. Let's go ahead and get to another hand. And we have Captain Sam on with us. Looks like he has some guests with him. Captain Sam, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, great. Hey, it's an honor to be here. And I'm going to give a testimonial today. That's exactly my mission. And I want to say, Dr. Wallach, you influenced me in the early 60s when I used to watch Animal Kingdom and see you in Africa. All right. And I remember those days.
Marlon Perkins.
Marlon Perkins. Oh, yeah. Oh, God bless you. So let me just say, I got to give you this so you can understand where I'm coming. My father, God bless his soul, when he died at 56, 2 years before that, when he was 54, he couldn't move his left thumb. And, you know, he went to that system where we all know not to go to. And he was diagnosed with ALS. You got 2 years to go. And sure enough, in 2 years, he died. And the last year was horrible. So now here's me, 54 years old, 7 or 8 years ago. Okay. All of a sudden came out of the blue, I couldn't move my left finger. Now, the voices in my brain, you know, a little ego voice, oh, it's genetic, just like all them doctors told you, it's genetic, you better go to the doctors. I knew better than to go to the quack system. I call it the modern medical quack system, okay, unless you have a trauma. The reason I knew that, because a very good friend of mine cared about me enough to send me the cassette tape in the mail. Dead Doctors Don't Lie, right around 1994, and my daughter was first born. God bless you, Randy, for sending that to me, because he knew what I was about back then. I listened to it twice and I started the protocol. So I had heard that I was listening to Power Hour Radio back in them days. And I had tried to heal my thumb for 3 months on my own. I wasn't on your product, okay? 3 months, couldn't do it. Oh my, it was harmful. So I listened to a program. I got the Mighty 90, and in a week and a half to 2 weeks, gone, disappeared. I really became a believer. And since then, through those 8 years, I cured my shoulder. I've got rid of shoulder issues, knee issues. I was an athlete, still am, a lot of injuries. Okay, now at 62 years young, I'm in better shape than I was 40 years ago. So I jumped back in again about 100 days ago, and I have been such improvement. It's amazing what I felt. So we are literally in a war today. It's a war. I'm honored to be on the front with you, Doc. Okay.
Well, we're very proud to have you with us, and
yes,
we thank you for sharing with so many people your story, because your story happens about 2 million people a day around the world.
Right.
These are ones who are giving testimonies, about 2 million people a day around the world in 60 different countries. And it's always a small number of people who kind of figure it out and take the steps and do it. Everybody else runs to their doctor and listens to their doctor, and it doesn't usually end well. And it's very expensive and painful. And so there's always things that, what do you say, cull the herd, the ones that don't do well. And then there's those that prevail. And so thank you for prevailing. We really, really appreciate you, Captain Sam. And it's one of those things where, you know, you want to, let's start doing some Zooms and things into your crew. You can, you know, contact your upline, whoever your upline is, and let's start doing some Zooms. Who?
Becca's my upline.
Oh,
Becca's
well,
my upline. Oh, I get the best.
Okay, well, there you go. That's easy. So let's do some Zooms to your group in the evening, some evening. Okay. And so we'll look forward to that, and let's help some more people.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Love
I
you
just
all.
love it. Yeah, I just love it when people tell us their stories, and just so great. And so proud of you, Rebecca and John T. and Ruth Ellen and Nasima and that whole team. Just to really, really appreciate everybody, because you're helping so many people. And, you know, people, they try things and they say, well, you know, I took some zinc, just like our first caller. I took some zinc. Well, you know, that's nice. If you have the other 214, it will help your immune system. But if you're missing all the cofactors, you might not get much value from just taking some zinc. Because if you don't have the other cofactors to make that zinc work properly, or even absorb it because you're eating gluten, all the zinc's coming out, and the only people that are happy are the bacteria in the toilet.
I've never thought of it that way, but Dr. Wallach, I have another quick one before we go to break. Paulette, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi, Paulette. How can we help you?
Hi. Thanks, Rebecca. Hi, Doc Wallach.
Hi.
I have a testimonial too.
Okay,
because
beautiful.
It's been about 2 to 3 months since I've talked to you. And Bill and I, my husband and I, have been on your product since January. So, wow, it's just been an amazing trip. we love everything. I've ordered some different stuff along the way, some different products that you have, Hydro Clean, and that shampoo, Rebecca, I just bought. It's that real fine hair. It's just amazing, as you can tell. I don't dye my hair. But anyways, Doc Wallach, I'm 61 and 170 pounds, lost 60 pounds since September of last year, and I'm 5'2". So it's a two-part question. One is for my husband, but I'll start with me and I'll make it fairly quick because I know you're a busy man. I have some nice autophagy happening in my body because I also fast in between. I eat carnivore-ish. I do all the no bad foods list that you recommend, which has just been amazing along with your products, right? The Tangy Tangerine and the Osteo. And because I have the underlining is macular degeneration, which I am totally keeping at bay and bettering as far as I'm concerned over the last few months here. And because I know that's a difficult one, and you said it's an optic nerve number 2 in my
It's a cranial nerve number 2.
Yeah. And because I follow your books and I've been following a lot of your data, and I'm looking forward to your new food one, that's for sure. But the cranial nerve number 2 is probably the only thing that I have to address really, and a stiff neck.
Okay, okay, stop there.
Yep.
Okay, because we only have seconds. And so I want you to add the Caltati to your regimen. I want you to take an ounce twice a day to begin with. After a month or so, you can cut it to a half ounce twice a day. But then I also want you to make sure you're taking our vitamin D3. Take 3 of those twice a day. Don't forget the MSM. 3 of those 3 times a day is 2 bottles a month, and that'll rebuild cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, the skull. It'll rebuild everything. Do you have the book? It's all in your head, goes into all these. Okay, good. Now read that part again about optic nerve number 2, ONA, optic nerve atrophy. And a lot of times doctors, they don't know about that, and they will diagnose you as having macular degeneration, because that skull is slowly squeezing the optic nerve artery, the optic nerve vein. And so you're getting a gradual loss of vision, and they keep changing your prescription every 6 to 9, 10 months. But it's osteoporosis of the skull. It's not really macular degeneration, but keep taking the Vision FX and the Occutive and all that kind of stuff. But I would definitely throw in the extra of the Caltati. Okay. Good. And MSM. Don't forget MSM. I didn't hear that.
Okay. And my husband, Bill, is 74. Unfortunately, he had to go make hay in the field. And so he couldn't be here. His only issue is the ringing in the ears. He can't.
Okay, tinnitus. He's got osteoporosis of the skull, tinnitus, ringing in the ears. It's a squeezing of the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve by the skull. And so again, he weighs how much?
He's at 200. Yeah, he's come down quite a bit too.
Okay, 200. Okay, he's getting rid of all the bad foods, just like yourself, so he can be on the same diet. Absolutely no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. I want him, if he wants something to drink, he can drink our Rebound. It has 100 nutrients in it. Okay. And then I want him also to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Take a full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to have the MSM, 2 bottles a month, so I can take 3 of those with each meal. And he'll rebuild the skull and the disc between the vertebrae and the shoulders and the arms and the legs and hips and back and so on.
We love the collagen, by the way.
Good. Well, the tinnitus goes away very quickly because it's the skull squeezing the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. He might even have some dizziness or something like that going on. And if he has things going on in his fingers and his hands and his wrists, like carpal tunnel syndrome and a trigger finger and that kind of stuff, that's the skull squeezing the spinal cord as the spinal cord is coming out of the back of the skull. That'll all go away. Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, well,
so
well, thank you for sharing the testimony, and just give us a call every couple of weeks and keep us up to date, because there's so many
Okay.
people in your same situation that are going to want to hear
Yeah.
your results.
It's amazing. It's amazing product. Who knew? Who knew? Thank you so.
Thank you, Paulette, and thank you, Dr. Wallach. Now it is time for a break. So let's go ahead and take 5 minutes from watching Ask Doc Live. Don't go anywhere. You can just, stand, stretch, run to the potty room, and we will be right back with Ask Doc Live.
Oh, move the furniture, watch your
Go
toes,
ahead.
Roberta. I don't want to step on your feet.
Did
Watch
you
your
un,
toes,
did you un,
Roberta.
did you ask me to unmute, Becca?
Oh my God, go to the bathroom. Minutes. That's not enough time. Go to the bathroom.
No, I didn't, Sam.
Oh, okay, all right. See you back, see you when we come back.
All right, we are back with Ask Doc Live. Again, my name is Rebecca Kozak, and I am here with the Ask Doc Live crew, John T. McCollier, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and Nasima Omar. And we are so excited to have you here with us as well. As individuals, you are just taking your health into your own hands and becoming empowered and using what God put on this earth to be able to nutriate the body so the body can do what it was designed to do. And I just want to remind everybody that if somebody shared this program with you, get back with them and say, hey, I want some of what Dr. Wallach is talking about. They will be able to help you get the products that you need right for you specifically. Now, if you have not spoken with anybody, we do have our store at AskDocLive.com that has all of the products that Dr. Wallach has mentioned today and more to come. We also have a contact us. So if you have questions and you would like to speak to somebody, you can use that contact us. I have a group of certified holistic health coaches that are there waiting to help you get the products that you are needing. We also have a call team available at 855-949-7234. So lots of options here. If you have been a longevity customer in the past, please get with your distributor and say, hey, I need some more. Or you can call our corporate office at 800-982-3189. Now, for those of you who just can't get enough of Dr. Wallach and his research and the products and knowledge, there is a certified holistic health coach program that is available not just to distributors of longevity, but also to our preferred customers. And if you'd like more information about that, I have a call team standing by at 855-949-3377. Again, that is for anybody that's interested in our certified holistic health coach program, 855-949-3377. All right, Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is up, and that is Tanya. Tanya, go ahead and unmute. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Tanya.
Thank you so much. Hi, Dr. Wallach. Thank you so much. I was on the call about a month ago with my dad and wanted to give you an update. We had some really good news. So he is 81-year-old male, suspected lung cancer, 2 growths on the lungs. And we've gone through some of the testing. And so they've basically come back and changed the whole prognosis to, okay, we were going to do the biopsy on the right lung, but it shrunk. So we're not sure it's cancer anymore. And so now we're not sure if the left lung is cancer, but it's still hot. So we are still addressing it with nutrition. And it was a huge win for me because my dad is recognizing that the nutrition helped and the protocol. So thank you.
Well, thank
But
you
we're
for your testimony.
still working on it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else going on?
He still is coughing up a little bit of blood, but
Mhm.
that was just once since it all started back at the beginning of June. But
Mhm.
I think I know, I'll just up the minerals again, and does that sound?
Well, he's got to get on the program and stay on it. He can't just feel better and cut back. That's a big mistake people make. Well, I'm doing okay. I don't want to do this anymore. Well, it doesn't work that way. You have to keep oil in your car as long as you're going to run the car, right? Same principle. But thank you so much for sharing the testimony. But please keep us informed anytime the doctors do another
Okay.
test or something and they know something. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Will do.
God bless.
All right, awesome. So I just love hearing that, you know, people are getting benefits from using the products that Dr. Wallach recommends for them. And that's basically it. If Dr. Wallach gives you a protocol and you do it, you will get results. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He might treat you like a dog, but you will get better. Take it from experience.
Yeah,
But I
that's
love
actually an
his dad.
advantage. It's actually an advantage.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's go to Treva next, Dr. Wallach. Treva, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, Treva.
Yes,
You're
hi.
on live with Dr. Wallach.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I've recently had labs run and my doctor's gonna want to put me on statins because I have a high cholesterol.
Okay, stop. How old are you?
76, 110 pounds.
Okay, and how tall are you?
5'2".
Do you have any other issues? Do you have any high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, ringing in the ears, anything like that?
My blood pressure's a little high. I've got the bloating of the stomach that you talked to another gentleman about.
Okay. Do you have any varicose veins of the legs or spider veins?
I've had them. I don't.
They come and go kind of thing?
Yes, yeah, yes.
Okay. Now I asked that because of your silver hair.
Yeah.
They're all nutritional deficiencies. They're not due to aging. Do you have anything else? Do you have any arthritis? Any heart issues?
My heart beats a little bit too fast.
Okay. Tachycardia.
Yes.
Okay. And let's see here. Anything else? Any bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome?
I just got that bloating.
Okay, the bloating. Okay. Anything going on with your skin? Any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis, rosacea?
Well, I had really, really dry skin. I started taking your products and I love what they're doing to my skin.
Okay, good.
I do have very dry mouth.
Okay. Yeah, well, see, that could be osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, squeezing the trigeminal nerve.
Yes.
Or the ninth cranial nerve, the glossopharyngeal nerve. So do you have any ringing in the ears or balance problems?
No, I also fractured 3 vertebrae about 2.5 years ago, and I'm still dealing with.
Was that an accident or you fall down or what?
Accident. I fell down.
Okay. All right. So here we go. And again, this is for our listening audience as well as yourself. At 110 pounds, you need to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, iodines, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then at 110 pounds, I want you to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. I want you to get another bottle of arselenium, not from Walgreens, but arselenium, because it has the 5 cofactors in there that are needed. And you'll know you're absorbing it because your hair color will come back very rapidly when you're taking arselenium with the 5 cofactors.
It's starting to come back.
Okay, good. So you're already seeing it. Okay. So I want you to take 3 twice a day because 1 bottle will come with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Get another bottle. And then I want you to get our MSM, get 1 bottle a month of the MSM. So you can take 3 of those twice a day and they will support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between a vertebrae, bone breaks your bone itself. I want you also to get the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 2 bottles a month of them, take 3 twice a day, and they will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries, whether it's in the brain or the heart or the kidneys or wherever. The bloating thing, I want you to do 2 things. Number 1, I want you to get our Ultimate Enzymes, take 1 or 2 of those, say 5 to 10 minutes for each meal. We'll go through maybe 2 bottles a month of the Ultimate Enzymes to do that. But also, I also want you to use our pink Himalayan salt. I want you to use a half a teaspoon with each meal. It has 84 minerals in it, but the sodium chloride helps your stomach be happy. It kind of lowers the pH in there, because when you have bloating, that means you have bacteria fermenting the food in there. They're like a beer vat fermenting stuff.
That's what it
Gas
feels
comes
like.
up this way and gas comes out the other way. But it's because you don't have enough stomach acid. So you need the ultimate enzymes, and which has stomach acid in it, but you also need the pink Himalayan salt, half a teaspoon with each meal. I mean, I've been doing that forever. I'm 82 years old and don't have any of those kind of problems. And so everything you have here is either directly due to a nutritional deficiency or secondary to gluten. And so every one of these things are reversible. None of them are genetic. And so please keep in touch with us, every couple of weeks, and, give us a testimony, because your testimony is going to help a lot of people, because what you have is very common.
The high cholesterol, did that get addressed with what?
What's the number? Do you know what the number is?
Well, the total high cholesterol is 332.
Okay, it's too low.
332.
Yeah,
332.
it's too low. You need 350 to 550. Okay, 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol. 95% of the weight of estrogen and progesterone is cholesterol. Cholesterol does not block arteries. Cholesterol does not block arteries. Cholesterol does not block arteries. But that's, one of the thousands of mistakes that doctors made. They made that wrong judgment, and they came up with a drug called statin drugs. You're not on statin drugs, are you?
No, I refuse to go, but my doctor wants to talk to me about it.
Okay. Well, what you want to do you have any gluten at home? Because somebody else is eating gluten, or your dog food. I'm going to box it all up and give it to your doctor with love, just like 007 gave stuff to Russia with love. You want to give any gluten you have at home to your doctor. Don't throw it away, because then you can deduct it from your taxes if you give it to your doctor. But yeah, you do need to be taking the salt. You do need to be staying away from gluten, and you do not want to be on statin drugs, because he'll bring you down to, his goal is to get you down below 100.
Yes.
Okay. And then if you're going to go through menopause, I mean, it'll be a terrible, terrible, terrible menopause, and you'll lose your memory. You will have, in 2 years' time, they'll diagnose you with Alzheimer's disease. You have to appreciate that, again, 75% of your brain weight is cholesterol, and you can't take away the brain food and take a drug to make sure you're not getting the brain food and expect not to get. There was no such thing as Alzheimer's disease until they came out with statin drugs. Now there's lots of dementias, senile dementia and that kind of stuff, but the specific disease of Alzheimer's disease did not exist until after they came out with the statin drugs.
Well, I keep resisting it, and I'm going to have to resist it again.
Yes.
When I talk with her.
Well, if she gets aggressive with you, say, well, I may have to look in the book here and see if I can find another doctor who's not going to harass me, because I'm not going to take your statin drugs, and say, please don't harass me. If you ask me about it again, I'm going to go check out another doctor or two.
Okay. Thank you so much, doctor.
You bet.
All right. Dr. Wallach, next we have Dr. Judy, and she has a client who is a 65-year-old male, 110 pounds, 5'11". He's a Vietnam vet in a wheelchair, and he has major injuries from an accident. He is a survivor of pancreas and liver cancer, and right now he is dealing with RA, seizures, constipation, GERD, and white hair. So he's got a mess of stuff going on, Dr. Wallach. What do you recommend for him?
Okay, well, again, he's got to get rid of all the bad foods. And first of all, thank him for his service.
Yes.
Rheumatoid arthritis is not an autoimmune disease. It's actually just a nutritional deficiency arthritis with a secondary infection with a bug called mycoplasma. And so it's killable with an antibody called minocycline, like the little bait fish minnow. Okay, so he needs a 6 to 8 week course of minocycline. I want him to get on at 110 pounds. He needs 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of arsenalinium so he can take 6 a day. And because it's got those 5 cofactors in there, one of which a deficiency of will give him the gray hair, and the hair color will come back. Also, For the fractures, injuries, he needs to throw in vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. He needs also to take an ounce twice a day of our Cal Toddy. He needs our pink Himalayan salt, half a teaspoon with each meal. And let's see here. Oh, he also should have, I said MSM, 3 twice a day. And well, if he's got RA, I'd have him take 3 times, maybe 2 bottles a month. That'll support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, makes your bone cell. And then he also needs the glucogel. 5 of those twice a day, that's 2 bottles a month. And it wouldn't hurt to throw in the collagen peptides as long as he has symptoms of the RA. Collagen peptides, you could take a couple of scoops of that during the middle of the day. But after 6 to 8 weeks on the minocycline, the bug that causes the mycoplasma bug will be dead and gone. So he won't have RA anymore. And so now it's just gluten and the nutritional deficiencies he's got to deal with. And so this is going to be a lifetime deal. This is something he's going to have to do for the rest of his life. He's only 65 years old. And if we can add, say, another 50 years to his life, you know, we're looking at 100 and, is that correct? Yeah. Another 50 years, we're looking at well beyond 111, 115 years. What? 50?
Yep, 115.
115. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. I appreciate that. Next, we have a question that was emailed in, and Doria has a friend who woke up yesterday with a very large eye floater, dark eye floater, which later in the day changed into lots of tiny floaters and flashes of lights. She's getting a diagnosis, but until, what are any suggestions that would be helpful? Her friend is 5'2", 103 pounds, and 70 years old.
Okay, she's got dandruff of her eyes. Floaters are the equivalent of dandruff on top of your scalp. Same thing. Same thing causes the floaters in the eyes, causes dandruff in the scalp. And so it's not an age thing. So at 103 pounds, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods. She needs 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Get another bottle of Arsaline with the 5 cofactors. So you can take 6 a day, 2 with each meal, or 3 twice a day, whatever is easier for her. She also needs get another bottle of the Cal Toddy. So she take a half ounce breakfast, half ounce of dinner. So 1 quart will last a month. I want her to also have the Vision FX. She could take 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. She needs the MSM. Take 1 bottle a month, so she can take 3 twice a day. The MSM, that'll support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, including in the macula of the eye, the lining of the eye. And so it'll make it into a healthy connective tissue again, which all the eye cells are sitting on, the connective tissue. And so that needs to be rebuilt. And so she'll stop shedding these cells, which is kind of like, as I say, dandruff of the eye when you get floaters.
Interesting. Thank you. So I know there's a lot of people that have come to me wanting to know about floaters and what can be done. So now we know, folks. It's just like dandruff for the skin, the eyes themselves.
Yeah, the only time it's really dangerous to be a floater is when the mafia is after you and you become a floater.
Well, let's not go into any type of mafia type activities, and let's just stay healthy. Dr. Wallach, let's talk about C. diff. So I had a question. Somebody wanted to know about C. diff and what they can do to, 1, prevent it, and 2, as a reaction to get rid of it. And we're looking at, let's just do in general per 100 pounds.
Okay. Now, are we talking about an infection or are we talking about symptoms?
We're talking about a C. diff infection.
Okay. Yeah, Clostridium. Is this in their intestines?
In the intestines, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, again, they need to get rid of all the bad foods. It may be a misdiagnosis. It may be just a gluten issue. Okay. Anytime doctors see something going on with diarrhea and gas and all this kind of stuff, oh, you got C. diff. But really, it could be just a gluten issue. So First thing they need to do is get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then at 100 pounds, they also need to take the 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month and get an extra bottle of our Slim. So you can take 3 of those twice a day, take a half a dose of everything else twice a day. And then they need the MSM, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 1 bottle a month. That'll deal with repairing the small intestine. Again, got to stay away from all the bad foods, particularly gluten. And then just in case it is an infection, don't forget our colloidal silver, 2 droppers full under the tongue, 30 minutes for each meal and 30 minutes for bedtime. So it'll be 4 droppers full a day, and which means it's going to take 2 of these dropper bottles a month to pull that off. I do that, been doing that for 25 years. And this is very simple stuff. And don't forget the hand sanitizer. Wear a mask when you go out, all, everything we got to do, but the symptoms are easy to get rid of because it could be just a gluten thing. But if C. diff, then you need the colloidal silver to make sure you're killing the bugs.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, and sharing that information. And there was a comment in the chat from Captain Sam. He says just in the last 90 days, his floaters have almost completely disappeared. He is on the Core 90, which includes the cow toddy that you had mentioned.
Mm-hmm. There you
So
go.
That's fantastic. And just
Thank you, Captain
another,
Sam. Mhm.
yes, just another testimony of how great our products are. Dr. Wallach, I have an email coming in from somebody that has bone cancer. And it doesn't say what stage, but it is a gentleman, 5'11". He's down to 142 pounds, which is not quite as low as our Vietnam vet we just had.
Mm-hmm.
But he has bone cancer and he has the will to live. He wants to know what he can do.
Okay, well, it takes some work to survive cancer. Of course, he doesn't say they've given me 2 weeks to live or anything like that, so we don't know what stage he's at. But many times when people are told you have like 3 months to live, and we give them 5 or 10 years, we can't guarantee a 100% cure because we don't know enough of what's going on here, right? We have an anemic description here, and so basically at 5'11", 142 pounds, and with cancer anywhere, including the bone, I want him to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I also want him to have the killer biotic. I want him to take 3 of those twice a day. That will deal with the immune system. And that's very, very important here. I want him also to have our BTT 2.0 tablets, which are not a replacement for the BTT 2.0 powder, which is vitamins and minerals. The tablets are specifically designed to support the immune system and be anti-inflammatory. So I want him to take 9 of those a day. Bone cancer is very deadly, so I want him to take 9 a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month of the BTT 2.0 tablets. Take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to, again, support the immune system, which is your best friend when you have any kind of cancer. I also want him to have 2 bottles a month of our Cal Toddy. I want him to take an ounce twice a day on top of everything else. I want him to take an ounce twice a day of our Cal Toddy, so he can help the bone maintain itself as best as it can. Then I also would like him to have, again, the killer biotic. So there's these secondary infections usually go along with the cancer treatments and so on. So he needs the colloidal silver. I want him to take 2 droppers full under his tongue, 30 minutes for each meal, 3 minutes for bedtime. And then I would also have him throw in our Cell Shield RTQ, another support for the immune system. Take 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. And then get more information if we can. We need more information. We can be more specific, but right now we're kind of going generally after a we don't know. Is this liver cancer that's gone to the bone? Is it lung cancer that's gone to the bone? Is it bone cancer that hasn't gone anyplace yet? And so we don't know what's going on here. And so, we're going to give him a good shot of what's going on. And then we need more information and we can tweak things when we hear from him again.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Wallach. And we have another Cephas is writing in regards to his wife with cervical cancer. What would be the recommendations for?
Okay, I missed that. What did you say? Cervical cancer?
Cervical
Okay.
cancer. She is 72 years old, 102 pounds at 5'6".
All right, 102 pounds. Again, got to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And then at 102 pounds, is that correct? 102?
Correct.
Okay. Then I want her to have, again, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of our selenium. So you could take 6 of those a day, 2 with each meal or 3 twice a day, whichever is most easier for her. Then again, I want her to have the ultimate daily classic tablets. She can take 3 of those twice a day. That's going to help with circulation, get more defenses into the places it's in trouble. I want her to have the BTT 2.0 tablets. I want her to get 2 bottles a month so she can take 3 of those twice a day, and that will support her immune system. I also want her to, if she uses tampons, she can actually use our colloidal silver on the tampons, keep from getting secondary infections, which is oftentimes very frequent when you have cervical cancer, secondary infections. And so again, we need more information, but this is a place to start.
Okay, and would you recommend the Z radical or the Fucoid Z to get that fucoidin in there?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Very good. Good thinking. Yeah, Fucoid Z, she could take, which is the capsules, Z radicals, the liquid form, same formula. She could take the Z radical an ounce twice a day, or she could take 3 of the capsules twice a day, 2 bottles a month. That's a very good idea. It supports, again, the immune system, and it comes from the ocean. I don't know, 8 or 9 different algae that have all these weird trace minerals in there that support the immune system and the bone marrow.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And, thank you all of you for hanging out with us today on the Ask Doc Live program. This information is being brought to you as a resource so that you too can be empowered of your own health and share information with those around you. There is so much that you can do on your own through using supplementation and getting rid of the bad foods that can improve your health greatly. Everything that you have going on in your body didn't happen overnight, so you can't expect it to go away overnight. The body is continually making new cells, and as you give the body the supplementation that it needs to make healthy cells, then the body will get healthier and healthier. And I just love the fact that, because we've been given a diagnosis, that we do not have to claim that label, Dr. Wallach. We do not have to let that be our destruction or our demise, that we can take back our own health. So
And the body has, as you point out, Rebecca, the body has an enormous capacity to recover and rebuild itself. But you got to stop hitting it with the bad stuff, and you have to give it all the good stuff it needs to rebuild itself. It's a very simple concept, but doctors never tell you that, because they make their living by having you come in and get your chemotherapy and your radiation and your surgeries and all that kind of stuff. And, they figure if they can get 2 to 3 years out of you and your insurance company, then they're doing good.
So you brought up something with, radiation, and I know that things that are preventative, like colonoscopies and mammograms, are all being required by insurance companies. And something that I've asked myself is, how is exposing myself to radiation preventative? So I know that there's other options when it comes to mammograms for women and looking for masses or what have you. Dr. Wallach, what would you recommend?
An ultrasound has, as the name implies, it's a sound thing as opposed to a radiation thing. So where you can, and you need to find out something, I would go with the ultrasounds. And of course, you don't need radiation to do a look up, with a scope in the colon. You don't need to do a radiation thing for that. And so you can do a stool examination and look at the various cells that are coming in the bowel movement. You can look at that, have the lab look at those things for you. And so there's many ways to ask the same question, many ways to get the same answer, but without the dangerous stuff. There's a lot of money involved in chemotherapy and radiation. So that's why doctors always choose it.
I understand that. And something else that I understand is if through a mammogram, they do find something that's questionable, they go to ultrasound anyways.
Well, there you go.
So it's,
Start there.
I would say, why not just start there, since that's what they're going to go to anyways. But I love the fact, Dr. Wallach, that, we don't have to be stuck in that system, that there are options.
Yeah. You don't want the diagnostic work and the treatment to be worse than the disease.
Exactly. Or be the cause of something else later in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I have a lot of people wanting to know, should I have a colonoscopy? My insurance company is requiring it. And I just, think back to all the different cases that you have mentioned that, people that are widely known, famous, have done routine colonoscopies and never made it to their vacation.
Yeah, they got punctured and died.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sad, it's disheartening, and yet it's a procedure that continues to go on.
Yeah, well, there's where, again, you can take these contrast things, like in a shake, and you drink that, and then you do an ultrasound, and so you can see any unusual configuration of the intestines and the colon and all that kind of stuff from the ultrasound. When you drink these contrast media, it tastes like a vanilla shake. And so that's kind of the direction I would go. No radiation.
All right, thank you for that information as well. And Dr. Wallach, I am not, I'm very versed on canines and dogs, but I have somebody that asked me a question this week in regards to their cat. Says that their cat is 8 years old and just lays around and very inactive. Now, here on the farm, you have a cat that's either sleeping or hunting mice. So I know that you can do supplementation for dogs and cats alike. What would you recommend in order to give all pets the best nutrition?
Okay, all pets, including dogs and cats. You want to get the Arthrodex, which is a multiple. Great minerals, it's got the minerals in it and the plant minerals. And it's 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. So if the cat weighs 8 pounds, I give them a half a scoop a day. If the dog weighs 8 pounds, a half a scoop a day. If they weigh 15, 18 pounds, I give them 1 scoop a day. It's 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. Then they also need the EFAs. The cats, I would give the EFA pluses because it's made from fish livers. They just love that fish thing, the cats. And then that could go along with their dry cat food or canned cat food. But you need to read the label, make sure there's no gluten in it, no wheat, butter, or oats in the cat food. They got to be gluten-free also, so they can absorb all the nutrients. And then if they don't have any specific health issues, wouldn't hurt. You could throw in some extra minerals. You could put in, say, a half ounce of the Cal Toddy and with the cat food. And it may be sleeping all the time because it's getting too much food and just fat and lazy. Has no reason to get up and look around. And so might consider cutting the food by about 25%. See if that doesn't have any, action.
Okay. And with that question being asked, Anita commented in the comments She has a small poodle with degenerative disc disease and a slipped patella. What does he need?
Well, okay, the patella is the stifle or the knee. It's the equivalent to the knee in a human being. And the disc, of course, is equivalent to the disc in a human being. Do we know what the poodle weighs?
It said small poodle, so let's go with what, 7 pounds?
Okay, 7 to 10 pounds. Okay. Again, none of the bad foods in the dog food, whether it's dry or canned dog food, no gluten, no wheat, bread, or rye oats. And then I would throw in a scoop of the Arthrodex. Okay. Yeah, half a scoop of the Arthrodex is 1 scoop for 20 pounds of body weight. I'd throw in 2 of the EFAs. I would also grind up a couple of the MSM tablets
Mhm.
and put them in the food. I would also throw in, say, 2 or 3 of the glucogel capsules. Just open them up, dump the powder in the food, and mix them up. And let's see here. Let's start there.
All right, sounds good. I know my dogs absolutely love the Arthrodex, Dr. Wallach. And
Yeah, most pets like it. They really crave the minerals, and so when they're getting those minerals, they really like it.
yeah, the bowl is empty and they're still licking it. Next, let's go to a question in regards to detoxifying the body. So a lot of people are concerned about things that are being sprayed into the atmosphere, mercury exposure, lead exposure. What can we do, Dr. Wallach, to, one, protect ourselves against these type of exposures, and 2, what can we do to detoxify our bodies when we have this exposure?
Well, there's a third piece to this. Number 1, they can get the book Rare Earthbound Cures and do a hair analysis. Go to chapter 9 and 10. It teaches you how to collect the hair, how to box it up, where to ship it to. Don't forget to put the check in there, because they won't do the test without the check. And you'll see if you're just paranoid, or if you do have lead and mercury and uranium and all these other weird minerals in your body because of your workplace or places you visited or eaten or so forth. And so you really want to know, do I really have these problems? And so here's an actual test. It's a very, very scientific test. Just read that chapter 9 and 10, and it'll teach you how to do this. Very simple. We do hundreds of them every month, of these tests from all over the world. And it's amazing how many people do have lead and mercury and uranium and other weird minerals in there that are not nutritional. And then they need to, if they do have something going on, or if they want to, they can just do it like once a month for, say, 2 or 3 days a month. Get our herbal rainforest. It has 13 cleansing herbs, and then it also has 78 minerals in it. And so I do that once a month. I just take an ounce twice a day of the herbal rainforest, say on a weekend, and Friday and Saturday. Maybe a Sunday, just take the morning dose on a Sunday. And but I I get a hair analysis once a year, and everybody should get a hair analysis once a year, just like they get a physical once a year, because it's going to tell you if you have accumulated any of these toxic metals. There's a whole chart in there for toxic metals, as well as a whole chart for the nutritional minerals. And if any of your minerals are below the bottom line, that means you're not either absorbing it or you're not getting enough in your diet. If all of those nutritional minerals are below the bottom line, you're not absorbing. So that tells you you're getting some gluten somewhere. Okay, so that's very, very important information. It's worth it, and it's tax deductible. If you're doing this as Youngevity as a business, in your business plan, which you can learn how to do from to Wall Street for Kids, Wallach Street for Kids, aka Wall Street for Kids. What you want to do is make sure that you have a business plan, and in the business plan, it says that your Youngevity business will pay for your health insurance, your supplements, your gymnasium, your gym membership, and all that kind of stuff, because it's for your health, and you're the one taking care of the business, so you need to be healthy, blah, blah, blah. And so you can also deduct a great portion of your either your rent or your mortgage and your utilities and your homeowner's insurance, all that stuff's deductible. If you're running this business out of your home, I mean, that's going to be in the beginning. You're going to start making thousands of dollars a month from all these deductions. It might take you 3 months or 6 months to get up there financially from the standpoint of getting people involved in the business as customers. But right away, you're going to get those tax benefits that, you know, the day you sign the paper.
Yes,
Okay.
I love those tax benefits. My phone, my internet, my vehicle, all types of things. Earning the car bonus is absolutely fantastic. You really can make a real business, a real income from this business, but it's all about your mindset and how serious you want to take it. It will take you as far as you want it to go. And it is something that is available for those of you, again, that were referred to this program by somebody specific. Get back with them and say, hey, I want more information about the business opportunity. If nobody shared this program with you, again, you can go to askdoclive.com and use the contact us and request information about our business opportunity. Or we have information about the Certified Holistic Health Coach Program, 855-949-3377. Dr. Wallach, I think we have time for one more, and this is an email coming in from Manny. And Manny and his wife have been trying to conceive for quite some time. Manny he's 5'8", 235 pounds, 32 years old. They've been trying to conceive for 2 years. He is a kidney transplant patient. He's on medication for that, plus 2 high blood pressure medications, which the doctor says that shouldn't affect his sperm or trying to conceive. His wife is perfectly healthy, not on any medications. Everything looks good for her. They're really wanting to have a child, Dr. Wallach, and I know you've gotten a lot of women pregnant.
Yeah, I've gotten more women pregnant than any other man in history.
Right. And so let's share that information with Manny and his wife, Dr. Wallach. What would you recommend?
Okay, well, first of all, he's got to get rid of all the bad stuff so he can absorb. Absolutely no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran, rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The wife's got to get rid of those things too. The whole household's got to be gluten-free, including the dog, the cat, the bird, the fish, mother-in-law, kids. Everybody's got to be gluten-free. There cannot be any gluten in the house. Nobody can even mention the word. Then at 235 pounds, thereabouts, he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. He also needs the MSM, 3 of those 3 times a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month. And they're going to support and promote many, many things, including his sexual activity. We also want him to have the Zera test. I want him to have 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month of the Zera test. They tell the Sertoli cells what to do and provide the nutrients to help the Sertoli cells make testosterone, and which is necessary to make healthy sperm, as well as, you know, not be an ED sort of problem. Kidney issues, high blood pressure. I want him to have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I'd have him get 3 of those with each meal. That's 3 bottles a month. That's going to support healthy blood pressure, healthy blood flow through blocked arteries, including the kidneys. And usually when they have a kidney transplant, really rarely is there anything wrong with the kidneys. It was really the arteries were blocked, carrying the dirty blood into the kidneys, and that's why it wasn't working very well. And so this is very simple stuff. And so be careful. He's got to stay away from the bad stuff. They both need to be not drinking alcohol in case a pregnancy does occur, so there's no fetal alcohol syndrome, and there's nothing worse than finally having a pregnancy and you have something really bad happen like that. So they got to stay away from alcohol. And they got to stay away from, again, gluten, the 2 big bad ones. And I don't know what medications he might be on. Probably an anti-rejection drug if he's had a kidney transplant. which may be kind of an anti-inflammatory thing, which could be causing some trouble with his ability to absorb stuff. So he really needs to get on the supplements, stay away from the things that are going to interfere with absorption, and he needs to ask the doctor or get the name of the drug he's on and look, ask Siri or look it up in the pharmacy books and things like that, and it'll tell you if it interferes with absorption of nutrients.
All right, perfect. And now we're going to go the opposite end, because Kara is writing in wanting to know what she can use for birth control without going on a pharmaceutical, or what is the safest pharmaceutical to use. So she's saying she doesn't have any health issues, but she already has 3 children and not ready for another one, but still has a healthy relationship with her husband.
Okay, well, she needs to ask the doctor, what prescriptions are available, and say she wants to see a list of the side effects of each one of them. And that's the way to do that. And then she can make her decision based on actual label information.
So choose the one that has the least negative side effects.
That's correct. And if they all have side effects, then you go with condoms or you go with timing or that, all kinds of stuff.
Right. Okay, perfect. I will, so if anybody else has a question for Dr. Wallach, you can go ahead and raise your hand by clicking on reactions. We do have time for one more, but I also have a ton of emails, Dr. Wallach. We can always refer to them. The next email, since I'm not seeing a hand right away.
Let's go to.
Yes, go
Rebecca.
ahead, Rosellen.
Hi, sorry to interrupt, but you were talking about detoxification and your environment, and you have something in your office back there that helps clean the most polluted area that you will be in, your own home. Why don't you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so what I have back here is the revitalizer, and what the revitalizer does is it pulls the air from the environment. And I have a solution in there that we offer through Longevity, that for those of you who are familiar with essential oils and the 4 thieves or the thieves oil, it has all of those essential oils in there as well. So not only does it work on viruses and bacteria and pollutants and mold, it makes my air fresh. I've got a litter of 13 puppies downstairs, and my office is the best smelling place in the house, and I absolutely love that. So
Well, thank you for sharing. What I'm going to do.
Recommend the revitalizer, Dr. Wallach.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go research all that. I mean, I've got 5,000 products, and so when you throw a product at me, say that I'm not used to dealing with every day, I'll have to go look at that class. Okay, and so I say something intelligent here, and so let me check all that out, and I'll let you know when I'm ready to answer that question. But I think Rebecca had a good starting answer. Clean everything up and read labels. That's what Siri is for. Siri answers everything. And but I'll check out all our products that deal with those kinds of things, and I'll have a worthy answer for you soon.
Yeah, check out the Nature Direct line of products, Dr. Wallach.
Mm.
That's the only thing I use now in my home for cleaning, whether it's cleaning my countertops, whether it's cleaning my carpets, my windows. It's awesome.
Okay, Nature Direct. That's your favorite.
Nature
Okay.
Direct. Yes. Now Nancy has a question. We have 5 minutes here, and she is looking for information about loss of hearing and also dyslexia.
Okay. Do we know how old she is? How much she weighs?
Well, if this is for Nancy, I'm going to say 64 years old, 125 pounds.
Okay. When you're talking about hearing issues and dyslexia, you're talking obviously, and she's how old? She's 64?
64 if I recall.
Okay. Yeah, the odds are she has osteoporosis of the skull, and there's 12 pairs of cranial nerves in the spinal cord. And she can have problems with thinking. She can have problems with hearing, the 8th cranial nerve. the auditory branch of the cranial nerve being squeezed. She can have balance problems. She can have loss of the sense of smell. They blame it on COVID, but it's really osteoporosis of the skull, because people who are in that age group tend to have the worst cases of COVID, and they blame the loss of the sense of smell on COVID, when really it's just osteoporosis of the skull. And so dyslexia can be problems with thinking and so forth. And also there's a little bit of balance issues involved with that. And so at 120 pounds, she needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bread, rye, nuts, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet ones. And then 125 pounds, I wanted to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, get another bottle of our Slim, so I can take 6 a day, 2, 2, and 2, or 3 and 3, whatever is best for her. Not Walgreens Slim, our Slim with the 5 cofactors. Then she needs the MSM. I want to take 1 bottle a month of that, so I can take 3 with each meal to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone ratio, including the skull, and the disc between the vertebrae, and so on. She also needs the de-stress capsules, 3 of those twice a day, for the metabolism of the brain. And she also needs something that's anti-inflammatory. So why don't we go with either the Z Radical liquid, an ounce twice a day, or the Fucoid Z, 3 capsules twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And they're anti-inflammatory. They support the immune system, all kinds of stuff. So let's start there. And I also want her to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. And hard-boiled eggs don't count. And fried eggs will cause cancer, so they can be soft boiled, soft yolks, soft poached, soft yolks, and soft scrambled in butter when they're runny. Okay. And then call us every couple of weeks. Let us know. The hearing can return very quickly. Same way with dyslexia, goes away very quickly.
So Dr. Wallach, I had an email that I just had to chuckle about that came in regards to everything being soft. Dr. Wallach says soft yolks, soft scrambled, soft everything. Is it because teeth are falling out? And my answer to him was no, that's not why. So share with us exactly why, Dr. Wallach, you want us to do the soft yolks, the soft scrambles.
Because we don't want to damage the cholesterol. The cholesterol makes up 75% of your brain weight and 95% of testosterone for the guy and 95% of progesterone and estrogen for the girls. And so you want to really love and care for your cholesterol because it means so much to the quality of your life. Okay. And so when you get on a statin drug and you have to give up the cholesterol containing foods because your doctor says so, you might as well, get your affairs in order, because it's going to be a nasty, nasty outcome.
So folks, let's eat our eggs, lots and lots of them, soft scrambled, soft
Poached.
Yes, all the above. Let's keep it soft and not destroy any of that cholesterol that is so beneficial to our brains and the lining and the
Just
nerves.
remember, Rebecca,
Yes.
Alzheimer's disease did not exist until 1960. There's lots of dementias, but not Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease only came out after they came out with statin drugs to lower your cholesterol, because they mistakenly thought that cholesterol was causing the blockages in your arteries. No, it's oxidized oil, salad dressings, cooking oils, fried foods. That's what was causing the blockage in your arteries.
All right, folks, let's go with the doc. I mean, he has so much experience and research as a pathologist. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. And there's been, research studies that have debunked what's being said and taught mainstream. So on behalf of myself and the whole entire crew of Ask Doc Live, we've got Nasima Omar, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and John T. McCollier, and of course, the one and only Dr. Joel Wallach. We are Ask Doc Live. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here every single Friday, but you are able to share this program with other people, invite them to get information as well. That's going to be something that they can take control of their own health and utilize right in their very own homes without a prescription. And we have the amazing Dr. Wallach to guide us through that. So again, visit us at AskDocLive.com for more information about the products and Dr. Wallach's books. And let's get all of those kiddos started out right and getting them on supplementation so that they don't have to experience what so many of us have come to believe is normal as we get older. Be empowered and have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. My name's Rebecca Kozak. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Love you guys.
Love you too, Dr. Wallach. Mwah.
Bye-bye.